Hey everyone, welcome back to another quick episode of the Coffee and Cannoli podcast. We say that now, but we don't know how long these are going to be. This episode is all going to be about the state of play that PlayStation dropped a few weeks back. We all watched it. We all have our opinions and our thoughts about it. Needless to say, I was very disappointed with it. I know, Putty, the look of disappointment on your face shows the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
And Campo, what about you?
It was horrible.
Yeah, it was absolutely atrocious. I felt like this was something just slapped together at the last second, and it's like, here you guys go.
It definitely was, because it's
And
well,
by the
we'll
way,
get into it. Are we getting into it? Is this where we
Let's just get into it. Like,
Well,
I mean,
I
I have a list of every game that they showed in order, but we don't have to go in the order.
and be aware that some camera angles might be adjusted for this podcast. So don't
Don't get scared.
don't get scared. Like literally every video said that some camera angles might be adjusted for this trailer. And I'm like, really? Like we don't know that. Like you're talking to us like we're stupid.
And another thing too, what got me about this too is like everything that they showed, there was no what did they say? Everything is like in-game footage and rendered in Unreal Engine. Like, where was the actual gameplay on these ones?
It was basically a commercial for Unreal Engine.
Mm-hmm.
This is my thing. Before we even talk about games, you're arguably the biggest. I'm not going to say gaming company because you're not really a gaming company. The largest console that's out there.
How about this? The most well-established name in entertainment in Japan,
gaming.
I would say.
Let's just say gaming in general. They probably are at this point. Well, maybe Nintendo. Who knows? You know what I'm talking about. Everyone knows what we're talking about. Your last state of play was like an entire day-long event that had multiple days of following trailers that came out. You see what Xbox did. You've seen what Nintendo does on the Nintendo Day thing. You've seen what Disney does. You see what Star Wars does when these things have their own events that are not the cons. Those like E3 or Comic-Con or so on. You literally dropped a slap together video of just like 10 trailers you had available and called it the Sony State of Play. That is the lamest thing I've ever seen. And I'm not a big Sony guy, but Putty is. And for Putty to be like, this was disappointing, tells you that this was disappointing. Yes, Putty, you're saying it's disappointing. Do not change your standard.
I'm not changing my thing. I'm saying is like, here's the thing. I'm a Sony guy now just because it's the only thing.
Yeah, but in comparison to us, you're a Sony guy.
Well, yeah, I understand that.
I was an Xbox guy for years.
I would love to. I just own a Sony because everyone else I talk to is on
But that's how I am now, right? I have a PlayStation because everyone has a PlayStation.
I don't even have a PS5.
Yeah,
because I don't
have PC, but PC is everything.
But I also don't feel the need. Yes, there are exclusives, but I don't feel the need to own a PS5 at this moment.
But see,
and this state of play just proved to me that I don't need one.
But see, that's the whole point, though. This was not PlayStation. Like, okay, prime example is this. When I watch this, I'm going to bring up. Is it okay if I bring up games now?
Yeah, absolutely. Go for it.
Okay, so here's the thing. The only game I'm excited about in this whole list is the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles: The Cowabunga Collection. Literally, the only thing I'm excited about.
I have a few.
And here's the thing. Like other ones I'm kind of excited about, but I have reasons why I'm not, and I'll explain why. I'm like scared, is what I'm saying. At least this I know. I played all these games. I know what I'm getting out of this.
This is my thing with that. So because I know you're gonna start going to other things.
Well, yeah, but I'm not.
Okay, go. Go.
I'm just sticking on Nathan Jordan now. My thing is I'm looking at this collection and I'm like, where is the original NES one? Where is that? The Ultra one?
It is there. No, it is in that collection. They showed a clip of it.
They did show one, the side-scrolling one.
Yep, they did show a clip of it.
Yeah, okay, I'm fine.
But I don't remember seeing it in the collection either. But I did see the clip in the thing. But here's my issue.
I saw a black and white version one, but I didn't see. I saw the
more than a few of those games are not even good games.
No, tournament fighters,
and there's like 8 different tournament. Listen to me. How many versions of Tournament Fighters are included in this? And that is a game that, as much as I loved it and played it like crap out of it as a kid, it's not even worth having one version. There's like 9 versions of it.
It would be like when they released the Street Fighter collection, there was like 7 different iterations of Street Fighter 2.
Well, yeah, because I remember.
Yeah, but those added new things as it went along.
That's true.
The Super Nintendo Sega Genesis, the only difference was there's 2 different characters off of each one. That's pretty much what the difference.
Yeah, and you might as well just have had the Sega Genesis
and the NES.
If you're remaking the game, just add all the characters into the game.
No, I agree.
Just. I don't. As much as I like this, I don't need this. I don't want this.
I agree.
Let's all be honest here. I use emulation to play these games anyway.
Well,
I have a Raspberry Pi, and that's what I use to play these games. Like for me,
I'm just trying to say I'm excited about it, but
I get it. I'm not arguing you being
no,
I'm
excited.
not going to get it. Probably not going to get it. It's funny how this game, the one that was based on games that were made when I was a little kid or teenage years or whatever, dude. It's not. It's like that's sad. Like, I'm gonna let you guys go through the games, but there's only 2 games I had interest in, and one of them I feel like I only have interest because it's visually stunning, and I don't know how it's going to be. Well, 2 of them actually, but we'll get to that. So
there's a couple games that I was kind of excited for. I found they focused too much on remakes and fighting games.
Okay, well, yes, I agree. So, are we going to go through the games?
Okay, so the first we'll go through the games one by one.
Let me give you the first one. Exo Primal.
You mean Dino Zombies?
Stupid.
Yeah. So you absolutely just. I'm going to give this as a rundown.
Destiny Dino Zombies.
Dinosaurs show up.
Tornado. It's dinosaur NATO or whatever. Rex
Okay,
NATO.
you take your Dino-Natos and you guys just be quiet for a second. Dinosaurs show up on screen. You see what's happening. There's a slow build. There's like a little intro.
I thought it was Dino Crisis first.
Then they show you a fake version of Regina from Dino Crisis to bait and switch you because it's not even the same game. Capcom made Dino Crisis.
Yes.
You showed Regina, even though it's probably not her, and then you bait and switch us for a whole new IP game. Like, how dumb is that? Like, that's why that intro exists in that trailer, because it's to make you think, oh, it's going to be Dino Crisis.
It's exactly what it mean. I got so excited.
It was the dumbest thing I've ever seen. Why did you do that? I'm so upset about that.
Yeah,
and I was like furiously Googling like a monster, and then I was like, wait, everyone else feels the same way I did. I'm like,
no,
okay,
you're not the only one. Everybody was upset that it wasn't Dino Crisis.
Why wouldn't you remake Dino Crisis?
I know.
Instead, you remake another thing that's on the list that doesn't need a remake.
Yeah.
Okay, enough said about that. I have no interest in this game.
No.
0. The next one is Bethesda's Ghostwire Tokyo. This game looks interesting.
I'm constantly intrigued by it, but every time they start the like gameplay plays for a while, it gets to a point where I'm like, I don't think this is going to be good.
That's my problem. See, visually stunning, like the creatures, all the effects,
right? But are they still using the creation engine? Because if they're using the creation engine, the game will not look like that.
But see, either way they are or not. Here's my whole point to the whole thing. We're getting now in a saturation where everyone's trying to do up, because there's another game I'm gonna bring up where it looks good, but I'm like, I feel like I've seen it so much in other genres that it feels like they're just trying to make it in their own way, but it's just they change the visuals, but it's still the same thing you see. And that's what I feel about this. I feel like it's one of those games that's very visually stunning, but then I'm gonna go back and play it, and I'm like, oh, this feels like I've done this before, and this is now really boring, and we do the same thing over and over.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? That's what it feels like to me. Yeah.
Next game, next game was Stranger of Paradise, the Final Fantasy 1/ retelling. I don't know how I feel about this one. Final Fantasy 1 was a classic in my eyes, and I don't know. Maybe it tells the early story of Garland, isn't it?
That's what bothers me.
I mean, there's another Square Enix game later on that looks a lot better than this.
Yes.
Am I the only one that notices whenever they do Square Enix games, every title has to look like it's from Final Fantasy? Like every title has to look like it's from Final Fantasy.
There's one that's later in the list that I thought it was a remake of that, and I want that remake, and they're still not giving it to us. Next one is another game I'm interested in, Forspoken. This one looks...
Foreskin looks pretty good.
But
I'm not going to lie. At first, I was like, oh, I don't like it. But as the trailer went on, I was like, you know what? This game actually looks pretty good.
No, see, that's the thing. That's what it does. It looks good. But the problem I'm having is like the ability she has. I'm seeing too much of other games mixed in to make one game. And so it's like it's visually stunning. It looks like it's an exciting game. But then I'm also reminiscent of other games, like combining stuff like Infamous and then like the one that just came out, and I forgot her name now, that has Aloy.
Horizon Forbidden West.
Yeah, like there's things being pulled from each one to make a genre, and I feel like what's happening here is no one's able to find something new to make, so they're taking from other things to make their own thing, and we're gonna get a saturation of like games that are taking other parts to make their own system. And I feel like when we play this, we're like, oh, it's amazing. Then after like halfway getting through, we're like, okay, I'm kind of bored of this.
It'll probably be one of those repetitive games.
In true fairness to what you're saying, even Horizon is a ripoff of so many other games.
Well, no, and I get that.
But that's what I'm saying. To take elements of a game that's already that is kind of like lame to me. I get it, but it does look good. like on paper, like obviously not on paper. From what I saw, it looks pretty good.
It looks like fun. Yeah.
It looks like it was the one.
It feels, but to me, I'm afraid it's one of those games that looks great. You get into 10 minutes of it, and it's the same thing over and over. This is what I'm afraid of for that game.
Like prime example is there was a game that came out during God of War that had a female character that was just like God of War, and you were thinking, oh, it's good. I can't remember the name, but it had a red-haired girl. It was on PlayStation.
Heavenly Sword.
Yes, it was such an ambitious thing. I was so excited. I pre-ordered it, got home halfway through. I'm like, this is not even good at God of War. It just visually looks like it, but it doesn't feel the same.
Yeah, there was so many God of War clones back then.
Exactly.
Next game on the list, Gundam Evolution. Meh.
I love my first person stuff and everything, but this one, like I guess it's based on the gameplay, but graphically, this looks like something would be on PlayStation 3. Like I saw it and I'm like, what am I watching here? I know Gundam's big in Japan.
Yeah.
And that's a big deal.
And that's what I was
telling for like this.
But also this is what I was saying off camera too. This feels like it was a trailer that was designed for the Japanese audience. They slapped an English dub on it and said, here you go, here's your state of play.
But that's how it's funny that you said that, because that's the number one complaint if you read the comments is like, is this a trailer for Japan? Or is this an event for Japan? Because none of these games are like North American directed.
Yeah.
Like titles.
So does that mean that PlayStation is like kind of like I don't know, racist because they have
no? It's just they don't
Japan.
We'll get into that at the end. But like next was the TMNT game. We already talked about that one. Next is like was it Battle? Remember that it was called Giga Bash, but it's like that Battle of the Monsters. Remember that monster battle?
Godzilla. Yeah, they made a Godzilla game. I really loved those. I had on Xbox.
I didn't really care about that either.
Well, I was just excited to have a Godzilla game that was halfway decent. You know what I mean? It was like Godzilla Destroy All Monsters. It was one of those Godzilla games I played. And I see this one. I'm like, dude, this is just trying to be.
No, Godzilla I know what Godzilla game you're talking about. It's pretty fun.
Yeah.
Anyway. JoJo's Bizarre Adventure Fight All-Star Battle. It's a remake of a PlayStation 2 game or whatever it was.
I never played it. Visually, it looks.
I like the JoJo Bizarre Adventure anime. There was a JoJo Bizarre Adventure game as well. It was like a platformer game that was kind of fun, but this is not the JoJo's.
Yeah, it's bizarre how
Adventure.
Yeah, it's honestly one of the most popular animes that I struggle to watch because
I've never watched it. Yeah,
Putty, basically, there's no story, and when there is, it's unless you're like very fully invested in that thing, it's so hard to understand what the hell is going on.
Well, let's put it this way: this game here, I saw it and I was like, "Oh, this is entertaining." I still want to go play more Street Fighter, Mortal Kombat because Street Fighter's coming out. My thing is like, if they gave this away like on PlayStation Plus down the road, I would definitely download it.
Yeah, if it was a free game, yeah.
But then I'll be honest with you,
it will be eventually.
I can tell it's one of those games. I'll have fun for like maybe like a week, and then it's going to get deleted off my thing. So that's an unfortunate situation. But
to clear up space for the next game.
Exactly. Yeah.
The next game, I'm kind of interested in this one. Trek to Yomi. It looks like a Kurosawa film, and I really find that intriguing. It has the elements of the one I was just Ghost of Tsushima. Has those elements to it, but like a Kurosawa film, it's all in black and white. I kind of like that idea.
Well, you remember how earlier I said there was one game that I'm afraid of when it comes to how it looks, and the way it looks is beautiful. The way it plays, it looks like it's really fun. But then, like when he turns to with the sword, I'm like, I hope this isn't awkward controls that are just like they want it to feel like the real thing, but it's no fun because it has the awkward controls. So I'm hoping the control scheme feels fluid, where it doesn't feel as awkward as it looked on screen. But either way, the visuals of it alone, as far as like the atmosphere, is amazing. And this is the one I was excited about.
This is the one I'm the most excited about as well. The Returnal DLC. I never played Returnal.
I've seen it. I watched gameplay. I hate it. Go.
Yeah. Diofield Chronicle. I thought this was the Final Fantasy Tactics remake, and I was so disappointed to find out it wasn't.
Everything these last two were like they were both like they came out like they looked like they're Final Fantasy. And even the titles came up looking Final Fantasy. I'm like, what the hell are you doing?
Yeah,
like it's not even a Final Fantasy game.
But I think that's what they're trying to do is make games based on those other games and to feel so
it was
similar,
a lot
but
of
not be that.
Like you said, there was a lot of bait and switch in this.
Like the whole thing felt like that.
Yeah, I think so too. Then the last one, Valkyrie Elysium. I thought it was I liked it too. I thought it was another Nier series, but it's not. But it's the same vein, the same concept. I love the Nier series, so I'm kind of looking forward to this one too.
I'll be honest with you.
The last two are both kind of good.
Yeah.
Like I was like, I'll probably get what was the one called before this?
Dialfield Chronicles.
Yeah, I'll probably play that.
Yeah.
See, I'll be honest with you. These both look so like not based on visual, like the feel for themselves felt the same. Like I was like, is this part of Final Fantasy that I'm not aware of? And that's the problem. Is I know Square Enix is famous for it. That's their thrills. But the thing is you can see they've done Guardians of the Galaxy. You can see they could do other stuff.
Yeah.
So why is it whenever they go in the fantasy realm, it's always like the girl that walks in? I think it's from Valkyrie thing. When she comes out and she has that mask, looks just like a Final Fantasy character. I was like, it
looked like something out of the Nier series. But I kind of want to see this one.
I think this one is the most interesting to me. I'm gonna say.
I would agree. And that was the last
Shades
game
of 7.
Yeah,
I don't know about the 7 remake. I felt like it, and I was like,
with a little bit of Nier Automata in there too.
Yeah.
I kind of like that, and that was the end of it. There was no big reveal. There was no like blockbuster announcement. I was expecting something for God of War, something for Knights of the Old Republic, which apparently is supposed to be coming out this year.
And see, what's funny about it too is, like I said, I with the 3 games that I actually had interest in, for them to end with the whole Square Enix like it was a big deal. In my head, I'm sitting here going, "Oh, we're going to get something big," and then they came out with these 2 things that don't have like a history. So, for example, you know what I mean? Like, don't have
it's new IPs.
And so when you're
based on an old idea.
Exactly. And what you're doing is you're making us think there's something amazing's happened. Give us Square Enix, which is huge. They already have these properties. They got the Kingdom Hearts. They've got Final Fantasy. They now have stuff for Marvel. They have stuff they can show off that would be amazing.
Yeah.
And then we get these 2, and I'm like, okay, I understand. If I used to be an RPG fan, I'm not as much at all, to be honest with you. So if you're trying to drag me back into the world of RPGs, I feel this was not the way to do it. This was not the way. You needed to throw something in their Final Fantasy if you want to get me excited, and you didn't. And that's what made this so unsettling. Is like when I realized those are the last 2, I'm like, oh, and we're doing a podcast on this. Oh, I'm gonna tear it apart.
I think that's exactly what it was for.
Listen. Remake or continue a Chrono Trigger. What are you doing?
Yeah, they are.
Are they?
Yeah.
Oh,
is it Chrono Trigger or Chrono Cross?
The first one is Trigger.
I can't remember which one they're redoing, but they are redoing one.
Just make a new game.
Continue the series.
Isn't that owned by Square Enix now too?
Yep. Yeah. But like I said, I was even expecting something like a Bloodborne 2.
Yeah.
Which we didn't get.
Well, John, even you said there's so many IPs. How about this? Can we get a new Secret of Mana? There's so many things that they can come and remake and make something new for us fans that love those genres, that you have so much you could work with.
And you can do the remastered way where you took an above gate view Final Fantasy VII and turned it into a full world. Okay, you can remake Chrono Trigger or Secret of Mana, and then you can remake the next games, and then you can start continuing the story after that. So now you've hooked a new audience to an old game, and now you can continue the story. Oh my gosh, mind blowing!
And see,
this is crazy.
And see, here's another thing with the Secret of Mana series. It was one of those first RPGs that you kind of had the same feel of Final Fantasy, but it had multiplayer in it. Dude, we now have internet. You can make a game that actually has multiplayer, that has a Final Fantasy feel or something like that. I mean, there's so many ideas that they're
take what Diablo does, Blizzard, with Diablo and World of Warcraft, and use the Final Fantasy world and make an MMO,
which they tried.
Yeah, but you did. Now is now. Yeah. You have all the technology to do this very easily.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's it.
Yeah. So going back to what we're saying, I was disappointed with the fact, apparently KOTOR is supposed to come out this year, and we didn't get any news on that. No God of War news. From Software, Strike While the Iron's Hot, and now even just the title, flash the title screen, Bloodborne 2 or something, because we know that's coming eventually.
Yeah.
I mean.
It was a 0 out of 5 on this.
I don't think the games or the trailers were bad. I think the presentation of the event was horrible, and it was just a waste of time.
Yeah, Trek to Yomi, Ninja Turtles, and the Forspoken are the only 3 I don't have any interest in.
Forspoken, Dialfield Chronicles, Valkyrie Elysium. Those I will at least Trek to Yomi. Those will at least try. I will at least try those games if they give them away on the PlayStation Now, I'll get them. I still have my PS4. If they come out on PS4, I'll get those.
There you go.
But some of these, some of these are not even exclusive. Like I think Forspoken, I think is coming out on PC, right?
Yeah.
I think Valkyrie Elysium, I think, is also coming out on PC.
Most likely, they've been dropping PC games, so
yeah, especially now with that deal they have with Square Enix, where they've just released Final Fantasy VII Remake on the PC with Epic. They have that deal with Epic. I think a lot of these are coming to PC as well. So it's like even what used to drive them before where the exclusive titles aren't even that exclusive anymore.
Nope. No.
You know, Sony, you shit the bed on this one.
Yeah, right. Didn't shit it, so you pissed it, shit it, and then decided
you
died in it,
and then you decided to take a nap in it.
Yeah, right. And
like,
then you're sitting there going,
and don't get me wrong, this is not a Sony bashing. We all own PlayStations. We've owned PlayStations in the past. Putty, Campo, you both have your PlayStation 5s. I still have my PlayStation 4. I still play it. It's not that I don't like the PlayStation, because you're going to get somebody that's going to say, oh, you're just hating PlayStation. No, we're not.
No.
We're hating the presentation that they gave us.
Yep.
And we were expecting something better.
And you had so many IPs that you own that you could at least drop one of your IPs of something, even a hint. Even if it's just like, again, Ragnarok, it's coming. It's coming. Here's Kratos. Okay, thank you. Yeah, I mean, literally didn't even give us a picture of the.
Like all they needed to do was show black screen, and all of a sudden here, boy, and then just say Ragnarok.
I was just gonna say that. You literally said exactly what I was gonna say. Just a fade in with boy, and it says Ragnarok.
Yeah, we would have been excited,
and we would have been excited. We would have eaten that up. That would have made up for the entire, or even a lightsaber lights up. You see,
literally just not even a picture, just a lightsaber sound, and it says Kotar. Like,
it was disappointing, especially after Microsoft buying Activision and all that big news. Like there was a big press conference. Sony, I get it, they bought Bungie just to keep that Destiny franchise going, but
even then, if they got Bungie, they could have been like, "Hey, this is what's happening," or "Where you got big things." Like they didn't even do anything with Bungie. Like I understand Bungie's not big, but it's like
they're gonna do
Bungie's
something at
huge.
E3. They're gonna do something at E3.
They better, because
I don't know. E3's been stale the last 2 years.
Yeah, but that's why they're gonna pop off.
Well, E3's also been stale because of COVID.
Well, that is true. Well, no, but yeah, I guess so.
Okay, let's get stale. I think that I don't have anything else.
Yeah, I'm done with that. Anyway, thanks again for joining us, guys. We'll see y'all next time.